It's like we've always known, been set in stone, unbreakable. It's like I've always dreamed, true harmony, unmistakable, unmistakable.
Hi guys, welcome back to the House of H.E.R. I'm Holly.
And I'm Molly, and we're going to start with a little trigger warning today. In this episode, we speak about themes of trauma, mental health, and abuse. If these topics feel too raw right now, it's okay to pause, step away, or come back when you're ready.
So this is episode 10. This is the last one. Not the last one ever.
Of the season.
Of the season. And today we always wanted to finish it in a special way. And we are very honoured to have our first ever podcast guest with us today. And this one is a very special one. I got introduced to Katy, who we will introduce you to in a minute, through Instagram. We're going to hear more about her story and what she has done. She is the definition of turning pain into power, which we are all here for.
Yeah.
But how I come to find out about Katy and what she's doing is we got a message on social media, and Katy, I'm not going to say too much about it, but has created an app to help people with domestic violence, people who are suffering in a domestic abuse household. And they reached out, saw obviously what we was doing with the podcast, and just said, can we connect and, maybe work together and help raise awareness, which obviously
we're all for that.
We are all for. And then we thought what an amazing way to close the series off would be to get Katy on, not only to share her story, which is an incredible story of survival and strength, but also what she has done with it and how she has put all of her energy into now helping raise awareness and saving women. So we are very honoured to have you here today. So welcome, Katy, to the House of H.E.R. So we are so honoured to have you here, and we really appreciate you taking the time to come in, because I know these things and sharing these kinds of stories, obviously we know how much we need it, but I know it's not always easy.
Yeah, we've both done it now, haven't we?
Yeah, and Molly's actually not, this is going to be the first time. I obviously read over the statement beforehand, but Moles, this is going to be like the first time for you.
Yeah, I'm literally hearing it with the
listeners.
Yeah, so if you could just give us a little bit of an intro to you and who you are and what you do before we dive into your story a bit more.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Katy. First and foremost, I'm a mum. My background is in IT tech development. So my day job is Chief Product Officer. And the reason I'm here is I'm also a domestic abuse escapist.
Brilliant. Did you want to shout out to Max?
Oh, yeah, my little Max. Hi, Max. Sorry, a mum to a lovely 11-year-old with a massive attitude. Max.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So let's take it back to the beginning. A lot of us who have been through domestic abuse will know that it doesn't start off that way. In actual fact, they always come in as everything you've ever wanted, Prince Charming. And so take us back to the beginning. So how long ago did you meet? What was your story? How did you meet? And kind of, the beginning of the relationship.
So I met him in 2010. Right, at the time, I was a junior app developer within the NHS. And I was working on a project with the military, raising awareness around testicular cancer of all things. I was building technology to support raise awareness with that. He was ex-Special Forces. So when I was on the barracks, obviously doing the work, doing the campaigning, doing the development, I actually come across him in the server room. And he was everything that I ever wanted. So he had left the military at that time, and he was back doing instructing, because he left the military to become a close protection instructor, like in Kurdistan and countries overseas. So we just got talking about his work. It started because he took so much interest in me, my career, what I wanted to do, what my degree was in, and asked me to help him develop his company's website, write his business plan. And that's how it started. It was all solely work focused.
Yeah.
But he threw money at me. So I was 24 at the time.
Yeah.
And everything was just like this lavish lifestyle, taking me to nice restaurants, telling me how amazing I was, and taking me out, taking my friends out. It was all like a big fairy tale for me at the beginning.
Yeah, and we've actually spoken about that before, haven't we? Like love bombing is such a huge part, and obviously at the time you don't realise that that's what it is.
No, and how old was he when you met?
So he was, he was 30 when we met. So he was quite established.
Yeah.
Whereas I was kind of just starting out. No, he was older than that. He was 32.
Okay, and you was
24, coming up to 25.
Wow.
So around about my age.
Yeah.
That's like me meeting a 32-year-old now at work. And
yeah. And then, so from there, so obviously it started just work. Obviously he showed you this lavish lifestyle, and as a young girl, that's kind of...
I found it really appealing.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was just like, oh my God, someone like him who owns their own business, has got a full career within the military, ex-SAS. I was like, wow, why does someone like that like someone like me?
Yeah, and also I can imagine as well with that kind of like job role that he has, it makes you feel protected.
And instantly you trust when they're in that sort of line of work.
Yeah.
I think you do trust that they're going to be a certain type of person.
No, I did. I instantly felt safe within his company. I was like, wow, you've been to war.
Yeah.
Like, I was mesmerised by him.
Yeah.
And where he was like, oh, I do close protection for the Kurdistan government. I do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, no one's ever going to hurt me. I've got you.
Yeah.
And if someone in that profession, you're naturally going to think that they're a trustworthy
person. Yeah.
So then how did it progress from there? You started a relationship, obviously, and then when would you say the abuse started? And
so I think we worked together on and off for about 6 months because he was overseas for the first 6 months of the relationship. So he used to fly back, stay with me. And then when he came back the final time, he ended up living with me, like straight away, which to me wasn't red flags. I was like, oh my God, he wants to live in my house in the time I was in Gillingham. I was like, oh my God, he wants to, like, this person wants to come and live in Gillingham, Kent with me. Like, what is going on? So our relationship happened really, really quickly. He had moved in from the first time he had come back from Kurdistan for good. And then after 2 months, a monster. He had got me where he wanted me. After that period, he was perfect on the outside. So you come to the outside world, you've got this Prince Charming. Behind closed doors, you have a monster. And it started like I couldn't go out anymore. He didn't like my friends. My friends were a bad influence for me. His exact words was, your friends turn you into a slut when you're out this house because you just want attention.
I had that as well.
And then he was like, you can't wear that top, that's too low. And I was like, but you bought me this top. Why can't I wear this top? But I bought you that top for me. You're not allowed to wear that top when you're out the house. And it got to the point where you can't wear skirts, you can't wear shorts, you have to literally be covered up all of the time. And I was like, okay, that's fine. He's just protecting me because he told me he didn't want men looking at me. He didn't want me to get people to get the wrong impression of who I am and what I stood for. And I thought it was fine. Yeah. I was like, that's absolutely fine. And then he made me doubt my friends. So with my friends, he was just like, no, they're no good for you. They don't want you to develop, they just want you to be a party girl. And I was like, I don't really go out as it is. I'm really career driven, but he made me doubt everything.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning.
And it's the isolation as well, isn't it? It's like, that's what they do. I think it sounds really similar at the beginning to how it felt for me. You know, he stopped doing it. They are so good at manipulating. They make you feel like they are doing it to protect you. Yes. And I had that I don't want people to look at you like you're a slag. I don't want men to look at you and think that they can, you know, and
you're cheap.
Yeah, you're cheap. I'm doing it because, and also, and, you know, you probably had this, you know, you're mine. I want it to just be for my eyes. And you almost feel like, oh my God, I'm theirs.
Yeah,
and
he really cares so much.
They have this weird way of making their control feel so special that you almost want them to be that way in the end. You want them. And then when they're not like that, you start then questioning why they're not.
No, I think I felt like I was on a pedestal. for him, I was like this little princess on a pedestal. He would dress me the way he wanted me to be. He would tell me who I could hang around with, tell me what I could eat, what I could wear, where I could go. And I thought, this is love. Like, he's just trying to protect me, because that's what he kept saying to me. I'm just here to protect you.
So was there any, like, going back, obviously, before, because I feel like the switch is so sudden in them. I feel like maybe it's, but you almost feel like you literally go from someone being a Prince Charming to this monster. Was there any signs that you saw before it was just...
It was perfect. He was the perfect gentleman. So even when he was working away, he still sent me flowers. He was always in touch, always complimentary. It was when he came back and he moved in, there was like a 2 to 3 month period.
Yeah.
And overnight he changed. So I was working in Canary Wharf at the time. So I was going to a work event in Canary Wharf. And he told me that I couldn't wear that dress because I looked too... He was like, you look like a tart, you look cheap. And I was like, how do I look cheap? This is a designer dress. He's like, no, it's too low, you look cheap. I want you to wear this. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Thank you. I don't want to have people to have the wrong impression of me.
Yeah.
And then from that point, he was a completely different person.
Isn't it crazy how, like, you do and you end up thanking them and you just get caught up in this like cycle of thinking that they're doing what's best for you, and it's almost happens so quickly that you don't actually realise.
No, I think they chip away at you.
Absolutely.
They make you not want to be who you were. You want to be the person that pleases them.
Yeah, well, you feel ashamed of who you are. That's, exactly how I felt. Like I was embarrassed to talk a certain way, a bit of who you are. Literally, exactly that. It just chips away at you slowly until you don't want to be that person you was anymore.
You can see how you can see, because she was interested, like I can really see the dynamic already and how he played his cards and manipulated that, because you were very career driven, which I can really relate to because I'm of a similar age and I'm really career driven.
Yeah.
And someone who's like an expert in their field and has experience and is kind of where you're striving to get to. So you are going to trust and listen to their advice, and like, you can totally see how he used that to his advantage.
Yeah, he made it like that he was my mentor.
Yeah.
Because before then, obviously I was quite high up in my roles for my age, as he kept reminding me, for your age, you've done well for yourself. But it was always for my age. And I would walk into any room and I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
But then he slowly chipped away at me that I used to put myself in the corner. I wouldn't go and actively talk to people in case I gave them the wrong impression about me. And my industry is male orientated, which caused a massive issue in our relationship.
So.
Yeah, I can imagine. So obviously he moved in with you.
Yeah.
He had you where he wanted you.
Yeah.
That for him was obviously now I'm in her environment. That's when he really thought,
yeah, he took complete control.
He could take complete control. Did it start with, was it just the control first of all? How did that then lead to, because we know how awful, for me, I know I said it to you on the phone last night, the mental side of it, I feel like is one of the worst parts. But when did it turn for you? So it started off with the control, and then how did it progress?
So his coercive control was for about 6 months.
Yeah.
Then it escalated overnight. So he told me that he was going, so he's from North Wales.
Yeah.
So he told me he was going to North Wales on a business trip. And then all of a sudden, I was getting photos of, because I went out with my friends for dinner, and I was getting photos of my car parked up, and then like pictures of me. So he had a surveillance job done on me while he was in North Wales, and he's like, "Why are you out?" And then when he come home, he was like, "I'm going out on a night out." He literally got home the next day after showing me a whole timeline of my activities where he had hired someone, because obviously his profession, close protection, to do a full surveillance job on me, come home that night, got really angry with me, told me that it was all my fault. I messed up a business meeting because he couldn't focus because I was out being a whore, I was sleeping around, he's seen me with these guys, I wasn't. So he's like, "I'm going out tonight." And I was like, "Fine, wait, I'll drop you off at the club." So I dropped him off, and then I was out for about 2-3 hours and was ringing me saying, "You need to come and get me, I'm in trouble, you need to come and get me." So I was obviously freaking out. So I drove to the club. I was talking to the bouncer and I was like, "Have you seen him? He's told me he's in trouble." He's like, "There's no trouble here." he's upstairs drinking. And I was like, oh, he's told me that he's in trouble. Can you go and get him for me? That's when it changed. So he come out. He's like, why are you here? I was like, you told me to come and collect you. You told me that you was in trouble and to come and get you. And he saw me talking with the bouncer. So he started screaming and shouting at me in front of everybody. I walked away, he grabbed me, then headbutted me 3 times in the face and broke my nose in front of everyone. But I thought I deserved it. So literally he headbutted me once, then twice, and I didn't fall. And the third time I fell to the ground. And I remember the police showing me the CCTV and he had no emotion. He just watched me, my face explode and collapse to the floor, and he walked away. That was the moment he changed.
I can't believe that he did that in public. And this is so part of the issue, why what you're doing is so important. The fact that there were people there.
There were so many witnesses.
But they don't get involved.
No, they don't.
They stay back.
They did. And I knew one of the bouncers and I was really disappointed. So my friend's obviously there. She's in complete and utter shock. So she's come over, picked me up off the floor. And the rest is kind of a daydream. I just remember ringing my brother saying, I need help. And I just went and sat in my car and cried until my brother got there. But there was like loads of men around and bouncers. Granted, when people had realised what happened and saw the state of me, he got in another fight with some guys that were trying to intervene after. But at that point, no one intervened during headbutt 1, 2 or 3.
That's horrific.
So that was the first time. So, sorry, just quickly going back to what you said, because I feel like we need to discuss this. The surveillance.
Yeah.
So it wasn't him himself. He paid someone. So this is a really, really interesting part of your story that we will obviously go over as we go along. Because of his job.
Yep, he used it for his
He
benefit.
was in the military.
Yep.
He was very clever. He knew how to work the system. And he had contacts, I guess, for that kind of thing. So he got someone to follow you.
Yeah.
And literally follow you through your night, stalking you, basically.
Yeah, essentially. And he gave them his car. Because I remember saying to him, I was out like in the high street and I saw his car parked up. And I said to him, are you here? Because you're sending me all of these pictures. You're telling me where my car's parked, what I'm wearing, who I'm out with, and I can see your car in the car park. And he was like, no, you're imagining things.
So this is interesting, I think, because we've spoke about this briefly on when I have said about my ex on social media, not looking at my page privately, but making me know that it's him. And it's obviously not the same, but it's almost scary because he's doing it in his car. You know, any normal person, if you're going to go and do that kind of thing, would do it in a car that's not their own.
Wouldn't recognise to me.
Hidden. Yeah. But the fact that he is doing that, it's like he literally wanted you to think you're going mad from that moment.
He did. He was like, my car's not there. I've got my car here. Then sent me a picture of him and his location. So I knew where he was. I was like, okay, my mind's playing tricks on me.
That's absolutely
terrifying,
though. Like, especially being a 24-year-old girl, and it's crazy because meeting someone like that and them treating you that way, and they've got this great career and all these contacts, and then this industry. At first, that's an attractive thing, but then, like that, literally, I can imagine how terrifying the switch was, oh my God, this really powerful man with all these contacts is now having me followed. He doesn't even need to be in the same country as me.
Yeah.
And there's someone behind. There's
someone
someone following me everywhere I go.
And it's not even just having to worry about him, like Mole said, you know, with all of these contacts. And also, it's just at that point, you know, and this is the whole thing of how clever they are. At that point, you are so in their clutches.
No, you are.
And you was probably, well, you was so in his clutches, which is just so scary. So
you wouldn't even think this happens in real life, but it does.
And it's scary how much it is happening, which I think is, you know, it's incredible that you're sharing this story because it really does
bring it home.
And from a different point of view, because this is someone of power. This is someone who worked in the military. And in the military, you think they are good people who are here to serve their country, to do the right thing, and you just would think that they are natural protectors, which is what you did.
And then he countered that. So obviously he had the surveillance jobs done on me, but he did that because he cared and wanted to ensure I was safe, not because he wanted to check who I was with, where I was at, what I was wearing. It was so I felt safe. And at the time I was just like, okay, yes, okay, thank you for caring about me. But the whole time I was doubting myself because I was like, but his car's there, so is that him? And it confuses you and you don't know whether to believe your own thoughts and what you're seeing.
Yeah,
That's
it's just completely,
Yeah, that's literally gaslighting 101. That's one of the biggest forms of abuse because they do make you start to question your reality.
Your own reality, yeah.
So that you can only trust theirs.
Absolutely.
It was literally his favourite thing to do. So he used to tell me he was working away, but not be working away. And he used to come in the house and just move things around. So I used to come home from like work and things would be not in the right place. I used to think I was going absolutely mad. And he did it throughout the whole, when we were together and then when we were separated, just so I know that he had been there, but there was not enough evidence to say that he had been there.
Well, because he knew what he was doing,
Yeah. So he done that and then, I mean, horrific headbutting you in front of people. After that, so obviously you went back, you got in the car with your brother, you cried. What happened? Was that, did he apologise?
No. So he did get arrested because after he did that to me, he then went on to have 2 more fights. So I was gone out of the picture then. I rang my brother took me to hospital. I had my nose was broken, so they have to click, disgusting, they have to click your nose back into face and strap your face up. And then I just went to my brother's and I literally lay in bed and crying. I kept going to my brother, it's my fault. I was talking to the bouncer, he thought I was cheating on him, I deserve this. And I just remember my brother looking at me like, who are you? What are you doing? And then I stayed with my brother for about 2 nights. I went back home and I reached out to him. I was worried about him because the police called me and said, oh, he's been arrested, he's going to be charged. We don't need a statement from you because it's on CCTV. And I was like, no, you can't charge him. I was like, it's my fault. I was like, I was talking to the bouncer. He thought I was flirting. Therefore, I deserved this. So then I reached out to him and I was like, are you okay? Oh my God, let me come and see you. And I went to see him in the hotel because I was worried about him.
Just shows what sort of grip he had on you and how strong the psychological mind games and abuse is that people really don't. The trauma bond,
Yeah. And I spoke about this on when I'd done my episode, and I used to lay in the bed and beg him for a cuddle and stroke his face after he had been violent. And I would lay there and say to him, and he would be like, I'm just embarrassed about what I've done. And I, exactly the same thing, would sit and stroke and comfort him. And not once did I ever get an apology.
No, same, because all he said to me is just like, this is going to ruin my career. If you press charges, this is my career over because I'm close protection. I do this, this and this. And I was like, no, it's fine. I won't press charges. I won't support the charges. I was like, please come home. Please come home. I'm so sorry. And I spent the next couple of weeks looking after him because he was so mortified and so, well, not even mortified about what he'd done to me. He cared what the outside world would think. So I lied. I lied when people was like, oh, what happened to your face? Oh, I just fell over when I was drunk.
And it's crazy, isn't it, how in your head you know you're becoming that woman who's lying about what's happened to you, and you're almost sitting there thinking, I can't believe now this is my life, but you're so deep in you are doing it to protect them, literally to protect them.
It's that manipulation that we've spoken about before, the trauma bonding, where you've been on a pedestal and he loves me and it gets pulled away. What's the phrase for it called? The cycle of abuse? Something else? No. They're putting you on this pedestal and then crashing you down. And because your brain's been conditioned and programmed and you trust and you love this person, when it gets pulled away and something like that happens, that's not what you've known up to this point. So you're scrambling to get that back to what you had before.
And also, I know I used to feel like, and it's crazy, but you will probably understand, is because they have you on a pedestal, and it's funny because my ex used to actually say to me, I put you on a pedestal. He used to use that word, that you almost feel like you not going and you protecting them and you not, going to the police or doing whatever, is you want them to look at you and think, oh my God, she's such a good woman. Oh my God, she's such a good girl. And you want them to appreciate you, and you think, oh my God, they're going to be so grateful for me and they're going to love me more and they're going to be nice and they'll never do it again because I've forgiven them and I'm not. And you just want to get that, like,
you're like appeasing them.
Yeah. You just want that gratitude. Is gratitude the right word? But appreciation from them, that you're not throwing them under the bus, and protecting them.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I felt that he had protected me up until this point. It was my turn now to protect him. So I begged him to take me back. I then did everything for him. I told the police I wouldn't support charges. And I remember going to the station and playing me the CCTV, saying that there is no emotion. I was like, no, he loves me. I was like, the CCTV just can't see that he loves me.
How did you feel watching that CCTV?
It didn't feel real.
Yeah.
I just watched it and I was like, that's not him, that's not me. And I couldn't make it make sense in my head. It just didn't feel like my life.
Yeah. And we spoke about that last night, about it's such a common thing, and we'll get onto that. But like, I think we've spoke about it as well, haven't we? Like the dissociation after trauma is just so real that it just feels like an out of body. But I can't imagine having to watch that back either, and how
it just doesn't. It feels like you're watching a film, like you're watching a movie, and it doesn't feel like your life. And I couldn't accept that was him and he had done that to me. I was like, no. I was like, you registered that. That's not what happened. And I never believed it. And the officer went to me, look at his face. There is no emotion. He didn't do it by accident. He headbutted you 3 times. Look at his face. I was like, no, he didn't. He didn't mean that. I was like, that's not me. I was like, somehow you've edited that video. That's not him. That's not what happened. And I convinced myself that wasn't, because that's what he told me.
Yeah, and that's also a lot easier to deal with than the truth, isn't it? So after, obviously, you went back, I take it he moved back in.
He did, yeah.
Plan was always going to be to do that, I imagine. How was it from then forward? Did you find that it was just once the violence had happened? Did it go straight back into it, or was there a period of time that was...
No, that he was perfect again. So he had a cycle of behaviour. So he'd hurt me, then he'd be my Prince Charming, then he'd hurt me again, so I'd stay for the good times. I'd be like, oh, this isn't him, he's just having a bad day. So then it got to, there wasn't violence. It got to, I would go to work, and when I got home from work, I'd take my phone, my laptop and my iPad away. So I wasn't allowed contact with the outside world. So he would control my communication. Then he started telling my family that I had mental health issues and he was really concerned about me. So he started isolating me from my parents. My parents always believed him because he was this professional businessman. He'd been to war, he fought for his country. And you wouldn't doubt him. He was a master manipulator. Then he told me that the only way that we could stay together is if I had a baby. And I didn't, like children, I adore my son. Absolutely adore him, but I was young. Children weren't on my radar then.
Yeah, and you was early on in your career, I guess that was the goals that you were working towards, and, you're a very, very clever woman. So you totally get that. So
that's like someone asking me to have a baby now.
Yeah, like it's just, it's not always in your plans, and there's, nothing wrong with that. But I can imagine being with someone like him. Was you then in a place of you just wanted to please him?
Yeah, because I thought, to me, he had been married before. He had 3 children that he didn't see, but I didn't question that. I was like, okay. I was like, if that's what will make you happy, then we'll have a child. And then things changed again. So the minute I had agreed to what he wanted to do, he was back to being the devil. So at this point, he put a tracker on my car. He was then working away more. So he bugged my house and then told me that he was working away, wasn't, and he used to hide in the cellar, because my neighbours used to say to me, "Oh, I see that he's back." And I was like, "No, he's in Kurdistan at the moment." That's like, "No, he was smoking at the end of the garden." And they were showing me pictures, because we had quite low fences, of him in the garden. I was like, "No, that's not today." He told me he was away. But he literally used to hide in the cellar just to listen to what I was doing. If I was working from home, he would be in the house with me.
God, it is literally...
But I didn't know that. And then he bugged the whole house, put a tracker on my car, had spyware on my phone. So he controlled everything.
Did he tell you...
Spyware on your phone as well.
Did he tell you that he was doing... So when he was going away, did he tell you that... Did you know that you had the trackers? No, not at the time. This is
But
what...
he used to always... So what I found really weird, and it was only right at the end I found out the house was bugged.
Right.
Because he used to know where I was all the time. Yeah. He was just like, "Well, you told me that you're in Canary Wharf, but you're not, you're here." And I was like, how does he know?
No.
How does he know exactly where I am? And then when I was at home having conversations, I remember I was on the phone to my best friend and I said, "I love you." So he texted me saying, "Who have you just said that you love?" And I was like, "But how do you know that?" And I was like, "How is he reading my mind?"
Oh my
and
God, that is just petrifying.
I didn't understand it. And then I was like questioning myself, like, what is going on? But you don't think that the person that you're in love with has got a tracker on your car. You don't think they've bugged your house. And you definitely don't think they're going to hide in your cellar.
You think you're losing your mind?
Yeah, I did. I literally felt I was going insane. And I was pregnant at the time. And he kept saying to me, "Oh, it's your pregnancy hormones." And I remember one day, so I left it quite late to get everything for when I was pregnant. I was like 8.5 months pregnant and I still had nothing because I didn't accept that I was pregnant. I kind of disassociated from this little human growing inside me because that's not what I wanted at that time. I wanted my career. I was going to London every single day, and it was when like the waterfall cardigans were in fashion. I had them and scarves.
Yeah.
No one knew I was pregnant. Wow. Didn't accept that I was pregnant. And I went out and I was like, I'm going to have to get things. Like, what if he comes now? I've got literally nothing. And I went out, I bought the high chair, bought everything, and it was all piled up in the spare room. The next day I come home and the high chair was at the bottom of the stairs. And I was like, I didn't put that there. So then I was convinced that the house was haunted. I know that's not, that isn't like the go-to.
It's just absolutely like mind...
blowing.
It's just, there actually is no words for like
he was
how...
very, very clever. Very, very clever. Because another time, so I had my son, and I think Max was about 6 weeks old and things had escalated and he had strangled me in front of Max. So Max is screaming and I was like, I can't do this. I literally, no, I'm not staying. I literally picked up Max and I ran out into the street. I just was in pyjamas, didn't even have shoes on. I just ran out in the street and I was crying. And I went into my neighbour's house and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't do this. He is a monster. And then he was texting me, "Oh, I love you so much. You can't do this without you. You're not going to be a good mum. You need me." So I went back because I was like, okay, I'm not capable of being a mum. I need him. He's raised 3 children. I can't raise this baby by myself. And they just completely control your thoughts.
So when you was pregnant, was there, so it was more while you was pregnant, he was playing with you completely mentally?
Yeah, so he did so many things. So he'd tell me he was away. Then one day I'd come home and there was like a Welsh fridge magnet on my fridge. And then the next day...
It's literally psychotic.
The next day he had put a Welsh rubber duck in my bathroom. Then another week I come home and he had changed all the pictures in my house. All the pictures in my house to me and my ex from when I was younger. And then he come home that night. It was like, "Why are all these pictures up of your ex? What are you doing? Why are you cheating on me?" And I was like, I didn't...
Oh my good
I was like,
God,
I didn't do that.
I literally cannot.
He's very, very, very clever. He made it look like I was going insane. So then at that point, I literally I couldn't cope. I went to...
Oh my God, babe, I am not surprised.
I rung... I think I rung social services on myself at this point. And I said to him, "I'm going mad. I can't raise my baby. I don't trust my own mind." I was like, he needs to have custody of him.
I actually don't know what to say.
You can't actually imagine that someone would do that. Like, It's like something out of a horror film.
It is really, really hard to digest.
That someone's
that
capable.
There are people out there that can be that, to literally be watching you look and think, did I and watch you, like, I cannot get my head around it. Like, I mean, wow, the fact that you are sitting here today with the strength that you are, being the most amazing mum, and what you have turned this into is just, I actually feel like I am speechless. Like, that's just, I mean.
You can't believe that would happen ever. To have that sort of, to even think, like how he even came up with.
No, that was what baffled me. Why?
So he was from Wales.
Yeah.
Right. So the Welsh, right. So it's almost, he wants you to know it's.
No, he wanted me to know it was him, but then he wanted me to feel like I was going mad.
Yeah.
From a psychological standpoint as well, I know you mentioned earlier he was in cycles where he'd be like an angel and then a devil. From a neuroscience standpoint, that is addictive. It's like being addicted to drugs. We spoke about this before. It's the highs and the lows. So when he crashes you down in the lows, you're desperate to get that high again.
You can't cope unless he's nice to you.
Yeah.
He's the only one that can make you feel better.
And
that's
we were
exactly
saying
how
this,
they do it.
That
yeah.
you can, when they're like that with you, you can't walk out. It's not something that you can walk, and anyone who's been through abuse will understand this, that it's not, you can't just walk out and go for a night out with your friends and feel better. They are the only people, which is what is so fucked up with this whole abuse situation, is they are the only people that can ever make you feel better.
They completely rewire your brain.
Yeah.
That is absolutely what they do.
So there was no. So in terms of physical violence while you was pregnant, he was just doing your whole pregnancy. He was doing this torturous.
How could you do that to anyone, but someone carrying your child?
Oh, it just, and just quickly, obviously you said he was married before with 3 previous children. Was he like this previously?
So when we first got together. So he had an ex-wife and an ex-fiancée. So 2 kids with the wife, 1 kid with the fiancée that he wasn't allowed to see, the child. And I remember we just started dating and I was in the cinema and I had 36 missed calls from a number I didn't recognise. And I was like, what on earth is going on? And I got an onslaught of abuse from this lady saying that he had just smashed up her house, he had smashed up her laptop, and done all of this stuff to him. And I was like, huh? Like, what is going on?
And what did he tell you? That she's a psycho ex?
Yeah, he went to me, that's my son's mum, that she's psycho. I told you she used to beat me and control me. That's why I left her. And I comforted him, but in reality, she was right.
She was right, yeah.
And he hasn't stopped.
But you don't believe it. And actually, you saying about him not being able to see his children, with my ex, it was the same thing. And and I've always said it now, if anyone ever that I met someone and they slagged off their ex, I would run.
Yeah.
Because the minute they tell me they've got a psycho ex, you're the psycho.
Yeah, 100%.
But it was the same thing. He wasn't allowed to see his children. It had to be under her care. And I believed his story of, she's a psycho. She kicked off one day and just randomly decided to take the kids away. And it is crazy how much you believe their story. And I was the same. And comfort them. Yeah. And in the end, I actually apologised to her, because in the end, after it all came out and she reached out to me afterwards and I found a lot out, I was the one that was kind of pushing him to take her to court and it's just crazy. So
you've got a great relationship with her now, though, haven't you?
And now from it, we've built a really lovely friendship, which is amazing. But it just is so crazy how when you are so blindsided by, you just believe, oh my God, they're the good person, and these exes. And I'm sure in someone's story, you're the crazy psycho ex, or probably was, like I will be. Yeah. So you've had the baby now. Was there any periods of time? How was he with the baby? How was he as a dad with the baby?
So he was incredible. Yeah. He was absolutely amazing. I used to sit on the sofa and I was jealous. it sounds absolutely insane that he would stand in front of me singing to Max, dancing with Max and ignoring me. Like, all that mattered now was this baby. Like, I'd given him the baby. You could dispose of me tomorrow. And then he just kept telling me that I wasn't a fit mother, told my parents that I was going out every weekend drinking, I didn't want to be a mum, I'd neglect him. And I was like, I went back to work when Max was 2 weeks old because he told me that he was taking a break from work. Something happened with his business, I do not know what to this day, but he lost everything overnight. So I went back to work as a contractor, and Max was 2 weeks old, and I kind of distanced myself from him, distanced myself from my son, which sounds absolutely awful now, and believed that I was the problem.
It does, and it's
after listening to your story, I mean, the fact that you're even here is remarkable. So, you know,
that would have driven me.
Yeah, I mean,
insane.
you were probably just literally in survival. And you'd shut down from everything.
I went on autopilot. I'd go to work, I'd come home from work, I'd go to work, I'd come home from work. And it was only when Max was about 6 months old where he threw Max down the stairs. And because we was arguing, and he was saying to me, I can't even remember what it was now, but if I didn't do something, he was like, I'm going to throw him down the stairs. I was like, you wouldn't throw your own baby down the stairs. Don't be so stupid. And he did. And I was just like, oh my God. I didn't know what to do. I literally, again, grabbed Max. Max had like blood all coming out of his face, and I just ran into the street and I was screaming. I just remember my friend used to live like next door, my childminder used to live next door at one. So she just come out in the street and I was sat in the street screaming, holding on to Max, and she just took Max off me. She went inside with Max and like sent her husband out to me to try and console me. I just didn't know what to do. And at that point I was like, I am done. I was like, I'm done. Like, fuck you, essentially. I am done. You've hurt my baby. And I went into like fight or flight, but I went back.
Was Max okay?
He was absolutely fine.
Was okay.
Babies bounce, apparently, the doctors told me.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Babies are
Is that why
so
they
resilient.
have like soft, do they have soft skulls or something like?
No, that's when they're first born, you're not supposed to bash them.
Oh, that's the opposite. I was thinking about they've got some like
skulls
protection.
Are still developing.
Wow, I mean,
that just shows the hold that he had on you, like that he did that, and he still drew you back in, and that is so common in these dynamics. Like, what did the policeman say to you? Most women go back.
Yeah, because I was so conditioned to believe that I was asking for it. I wanted it. I loved it. I must love it because I was going back and putting myself in the situation. I lost my aunt and I went back to him, and because I reached out to him, like you've said, he was on my case, but he'd left me alone for about a week, and as soon as he left me alone, I started craving it. And I lost my aunt and I went back to him and I reached out, and it became a thing of like, I must love it. I thought, what is wrong with me? And when I went to the police, I was almost thought they was going to say to me, well, actually, no, if you've gone back, that's count. On you, it doesn't count. That's what I was expecting them to say. And they was like, this is what happens. And I know you said last night for you, I mean, there was, how many reports did you have in the end?
169.
169 police reports.
Because and they've done nothing.
He was a master manipulator. So he had been trained, obviously, if he was captured, they were trained how to deal with those situations, what information to tell, and he could manipulate the system. So I did go back after the incident with Max, because I went back because he started harassing all of my friends. So he used to ring us all constantly on unknown all throughout the night. So our phone records used to all match. Then he told my best friend that her partner that he was cheating on her. Then he told my work that I told my boss that I'd accused him of sexual harassment, and it spiraled completely and utterly out of control. So it was not only harassment and stalking for me, but it was picking off my friends, my work. I lost my job. It was picking people off around me one by one by one.
So you had nothing left but him?
I had nothing, because my family thought that I was a problem because I was being investigated by social services because of things that he said about me. And he used to literally, when I made him leave, so there was a period of time, we were separated for 4 months. And he made my life completely miserable. He isolated me from everyone. He used to ring ambulances at all hours of the night and send them to my house saying that I was trying to kill myself. So it got to a point.
You just give up.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't.
You feel like you can't get away.
I couldn't. I was just like, he's taken everyone away from me. The only way to protect me, to protect my son and protect my friends and family is by accepting him back in my life.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense.
Absolutely.
Because you just would. It's so unbearable and relentless, and there's only so much you can fight, and you're outmatched. It's a total abuse of power. You're a young mum. You're on your own. Like, it's horrific.
Oh, God, honestly, I can't even. So that went on, you went back. How eventually, like, what was breaking point for you? What happened that was like the final straw?
So it was about 6 months later. He had come back from a business trip, and usually he comes back and I'm just like, love bomb. So I loved you, I miss you. But he didn't. He come back and he was awful immediately, grabbed me by the throat, started strangling me in front of my son. So I've got Max like grabbing at my legs, screaming. So he's thrown Max across the room. And then my neighbours had called the police because of all of the commotion. And that was it, I was done. That night, the police put me in touch because I had lots of individual police reports through the period that we were separated. And that night, the police went to me, he is going to kill you. You need to leave tonight. And I was like, I can't leave tonight. They was like, no, we're going to put you in women's refuge. You leave tonight. So I literally packed up a bag, went into refuge, stayed there 24 hours. I was like, I can't. I've got a young son. I can't stay in refuge. But watching Max scream about me and then throwing him, and I was completely out of control. I genuinely thought that he was going to kill me because he broke 2 of my ribs, he broke my cheekbone. And this was all in front of my son. And I was like, no, you just go into fight mode. So the police kicked down the door. So Max is screaming. He's still scared of police now, and he's 11. And I was like, I'm done. So I went into refuge. They said, oh, you have to go into refuge for 3 months. We'll change your name. We'll change your NHS number. We'll change your national insurance number. And that environment was just absolutely awful. I couldn't deal with it. So then I was like, well, we can move you under Paladin. We're going to put you in Northern Ireland. And I was thinking, Northern Ireland? Like, okay. So I went to Northern Ireland. I got a job in Northern Ireland. But I kept my name and everything. So then he found me in Northern Ireland 6 months later, and the cycle started again, but I didn't go back. I literally flew back, got arrested, which is always fun.
This was a bit of the story that is just wild as well when we spoke. So you went so they gave you this identity. Mm-hmm. You got to the airport and you got arrested.
Yeah. So the day that he broke my cheekbone, broke 2 of my ribs and strangled me.
And he still wasn't arrested?
He still wasn't arrested. He was arrested and released on bail. And then I come back and I get arrested because he made a counter-claim against me for harassment. So the police couldn't get hold of me because obviously I was in Northern Ireland. You're not allowed to speak to your friends. You're not allowed to speak to your family. They change everything about you. And then I got arrested and put in a cell for 8 hours for harassment of him. And it's only then the police started taking my case seriously because I got a solicitor. I then got the independent crime commissioner investigating my case, and there was there is patterns. This has been going on now for 8 years. You've got 169 crime reports. He is manipulating the system. But again, didn't get prosecuted, got sectioned.
Did he have connections in the police at all?
He said he did, but I don't. It was just very, very bizarre because the police used to see it. They didn't look at the picture. So when they
look at the individual incidents.
They'd look at an instance. And I just remember one police officer coming around to me and speaking to me that night saying, your life's like a psychedelic thriller. This would make a really good film. I was like, thanks, that is my life. Yeah.
Oh. So then he gets sectioned. So he pleads insanity, basically, because he knows, obviously, in the field system that he's in and the system. So when So how old was Matt when you finally left? How old was Matt?
Max was 3.
Okay, and then he got sectioned. Was it that year? Was
Yeah.
it? And is he still in there?
No, he's out abusing more women.
Yes, you said.
So he got sectioned.
Mm-hmm.
How long was he away for?
Yeah, and did he leave you alone after that?
No, so he got sectioned, left me alone. I then agreed for him to have like a visit with Max because I was like, he's been nice.
Like a supervised visit.
Yeah,
sort of
I was
thing.
like, he's been nice to me for so long. Like things are calm. We was about a year down the line now. I was like, he's completely changed. I'm going to let him see my son. But I didn't go because at this point, I had non-molestation order, every single order that you can possibly imagine under the sun in place. So I gave him to my parents. I gave Max to my parents, and my parents let him have my son alone. And then he took him and wouldn't give him back to me for 3 weeks. I had to pay him to give my son back to me, because that was his level of control. And then after that point, I was like, absolutely not. You're not bringing me back in. You're not having contact with him. So I fought. I proved that I was not actually the mental one, because I did cover myself in tattoos, and social services said that was self-harming because I needed real pain. But I then got all of his parental rights taken off of him. And until last year, when I went public with my story, he's left me alone. It's only when I started talking publicly, I got loads of death threats and told me he was suing me for slander. Then when I did the BBC interview, I was quite impressed with this actually. I had 13 nails put in every single one of my tyres. And then I got more death threats. So we were back in that circle again.
You are so brave.
But what I've said is, like, my son was bullied at school because he's different. I don't know. Like, he's scared of loud noises, so he'll hide under the table, and he's got lots of childhood trauma. And I want to prove to him that no one can bully you, no one can take control of your life. Like, you need to stand up with everything you've got. So I'll keep talking about it. I'll keep raising awareness, and he can keep coming back and back and back and back, but he won't win this time.
Incredible. What you've done is incredible. Literally gives me... But like, what an example.
What an example
you've set to the world as well, not even just your son, like to
the
and
women
the power,
listening to that.
But like the energy and the power coming off of you, like it's literally he has tried to destroy you, and cool, like you will not be silenced, you will not be stopped, and you're not even just doing, like, you're obviously honouring yourself now and doing what's best for you, but you're actually still serving other people in that and making the world safer for everyone.
Everybody.
But I just have to say, I cannot believe that this man is allowed to walk the streets. I'm absolutely appalled.
Yeah, I mean...
I am horrified.
Horrified.
Like, to my core, horrified.
This is where there needs to be a fucking change, because how he has ever been released is
he's not been in prison.
Even to be sectioned, if you're going to section someone like that, lock them up and throw away the key. Exactly. You know, don't let them back out on the streets, because
he should be arrested when he puts the nails in. He should be arrested when he makes the contact. Like,
so your son, like, does he, with the contact thing, has he contacted him?
Yeah, so someone in my family gave him Max's number. So when I did the BBC interview, he texted Max, his own son, saying, I'm going to end your mum. She's ruined my life. I can't see my son. And my wife's left me, to his own son.
So he got remarried?
Yes.
Apparently, though. The thing is with these people...
No, he did get remarried.
He absolutely did.
Yeah, so after me, he went on to get 3 other restraining orders from other women. He still got away with it.
He's not in prison. How is he not in prison?
I have no idea. And then he got married again last year. I don't know what happened with this one, but he did get married again last year, because that was like something that triggered me, because I was like, oh my God.
And it's also a thing, like we said, you know, you do have I had this with his family, writing Facebook statuses about, how you're doing this because you're bitter and malicious and woman scorned and you don't want anyone else to have them. And, I know we said it on the calls, you do have this sense of how, and this was what the point my dad made actually when I went to him, or my sister went to them and about the police. My dad's point was, and exactly how you felt, how is he allowed to walk the streets, go out and enjoy his life, go on these stag do's, do this, do that, out of his friends, my friendship group, and the same for you, to go and get remarried and you are there left.
Picking up all the
But
pieces.
not even that, he's doing it again. He's just doing it to more people.
Yeah,
because they don't change.
No, they don't.
They don't change.
He'll be back in that cycle. So with me, it was love bombing, coercive control, then financial control. He got me in so much debt. Then it was harassment, stalking, violence, damage to the car, damage to the property, and it would continue in that cycle.
And also for him, why would he change, but he's getting no repercussions.
Yeah, why would he want? You wouldn't want to.
Even if they go away, they don't change. But if you're not getting any repercussions and you're getting away with it each time, then
there's no reason.
How is this the world that we're like? How is this the world that we live in? Genuinely, how on earth is this man walking freely and doing it to more women?
No, it's actual. It's beyond disgusting.
How many cases did you say? 100 police reports?
So I had 169 police reports.
You were the third person as well.
So I'm the second. But then I was Googling him out of curiosity. He's got restraining orders now so his mum's got a restraining order against him, and then 3 other women. So I don't have social media. I'm not big on social media because he made loads of fake accounts of me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But I have a private Instagram, which I have pictures of my son and his horse.
Yeah.
And one of his exes, the one that he was with when he took Max and said that I was a psychopath, she actually messaged me this long essay saying that she thought that I was a psychopath until the police raided her house and gave her black and white evidence that he had 29 SIM cards that he was harassing me on, showed that she was doing it from her IP address. But to that point, I did not believe him. I thought that you were the problem. And she sent me this big essay apologising to me. And I was really confused how she got my Instagram in the first place because it's completely locked down. It's not my name. But he had done it to her. And she's like, I've got a restraining order against him now. He wasn't violent to me, but he stalked me, he harassed me and smashed up my house. And then done the same with his mum. Like he stole from his mum and smashed up his mum's house and has continued on this cycle, but always claims poor mental health because of his training. He can manipulate the system.
Wow. I mean, we do say, we can't change. We've spoke about it before. Unfortunately, no matter what we do in this world, we cannot change. We can do our best to educate, but we
can't change what other people do.
We can't change what other people do, but
it.
what you are doing is so fucking amazing because despite him, and I mean, for him to not be locked away, the only reason I have been able to have any sort of healing is because I know he's behind bars, which is, I've said how many times, my biggest fear is the day he comes out, that my healing will. So for the fact that you are doing this while still under the abuse, while having a child, is a testament to your character. And I cannot tell you.
I've never been more.
I mean, awe of your strength and bravery. And honestly, you are so incredible. And what you are doing and how you are turning complete and utter horrific pain into power is insane. So through this is the bit that is, for the listeners, I think this is something that can absolutely change the game for people that are in domestic abuse. So you touched on obviously being in the tech world. Yeah. This is Mollie's bag because I'm so not tech, so I won't understand any of this. But just give us, obviously we'll go into talk about the app and how did you get to, so you've gone on to create an app. Yes. Through this, you have turned and put all your pain into creating this purpose, which is to help people
survivors
in domestic abuse relationships survive and get out. Where did this start? So what made you, obviously we know the relationship, but I know there's a bit of a backstory of what you used to do in your situations with him that kind of led to this.
So even when we were back together, I had a panic alarm installed in my home because I was still high risk and I was told that there was risk to life for me. And my panic alarm failed me on more than one occasion. The first time, the police hadn't completed the 30-day renew, so my panic alarm was switched off. The second time, in that hostile environment, you can't actually be like, can you just stop punching me in the face? And I would just want to go and press my panic alarm.
Absolutely, yeah.
It doesn't work like that, unfortunately, in reality. But I think anyone in an abusive relationship, you can read your partner's behaviour. And I used to always be able to tell when I had done something wrong in my eyes and the situation was about to escalate. So I used to say to him, okay, sit down. I'm going to make you a cup of tea. You can tell me how I can make this better for you. And at the time, I was working for a big FM and energy company and like smart meters, smart buildings. And I used to go to work every single day and think to myself, why can't there be something on the kettle? Why can't I have my panic alarm on the kettle? And why do I have to press a big red button? Why do I have to call?
Where it's obvious.
Yeah, why do I have to physically have access to my phone or something to call for help? So I built Joan in honour of my nan. So my nan was the only person that believed me throughout everything and never turned her back on me. So it's called Joan in honour of her. And basically it enables victims, survivors to call for help from any household appliance because we've integrated smart energy data into a cloud-based platform. So by turning a device on and off in a sequence, we detect that unusual surge in electricity and it sends a notification to their next of kin. So I have done it in partnership with some local authorities because I've said it needs to be included within their safety plan because my safety plan was dictated to me, didn't take into consideration that he was ex-SAS, so everything they put in place for me didn't work. So I've done it so you can call for help whatever room you're in the house, because I'm sure that you was like, it used to get locked in a particular room, so you wouldn't be able to have access to your phone. So this way, you can activate it from any household appliance, from any room in your house, just by doing that pattern.
So what is, like, are you allowed to know the pattern, or is it something, because otherwise it will be too...
It will be too... It's turning it on and off in a certain...
way. Okay,
yeah,
perfect,
so we can see that surge in electricity.
Okay, and they will know that. So if someone goes and downloads the app today, so it's called Ask Joan. I mean, how incredible is that idea? Like, literally, you are
genius.
Thank you.
Genius. And I think this can and will save lives, literally. So if someone wanted, so someone's listening now and they download the app and it's all
guide them from there,
explained through there how they would then set it up. Wow. So we will have
all of that will be linked in the show notes,
everything, the website, how to download the app, all of that available through the website.
The show notes.
The website.
Yeah, because we're too mind blown by that story.
My mind is gone.
Sorry. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Like, that is...
I mean, I think your story, I think the listeners are going to
this is going to impact
be in complete awe like we are. And you are you need to know this, because I know you don't always...
Know it when it's you,
but you are the bravest, most amazing woman I think I've ever met.
Same. There's the most inspiring story, not even met, that I've ever heard anywhere in the world.
Just to wrap this up.
Coming.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, because I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible.
Thank you. And I'm sure this won't be the last that our listeners will be seeing of you. I feel like we need you to come back.
I've got so many more questions,
but
thank you so much as well for sitting here and reliving that and sharing. You've already been through so much, and the fact that you haven't let that harden you or turn you into a cruel person. You're still giving, and even giving to us after everything you've already had to go through is just really, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and we were saying last night, and for for the listeners listening and for me last night talking, you have such a dissociation, and like you sitting there reading, and it will make people feel so much normal, that it is normal to feel these things and to go through these things, even in the worst cases of domestic abuse. And you are honestly a pillar of strength and a hero. Just to wrap this up, the last thing, because I know we're shutting off now, but what would be your one bit of advice if you could say to someone who's listening now, like who feels like they're in where we've been, there's no way out, they're thinking of leaving the relationship, they want to get out, what would you say to them? Because you have come out the other side, and I know there is so many people listening that I get messages constantly, and I know Mollie does, and we do on the podcast, of people that are there and they want to leave. What would you say to someone who is, as a domestic abuse survivor, there to give them that little bit of hope?
I think for me, I needed someone to tell me that they believed me. And I remember it was right at the end where they asked me what was scarier staying in the life that I'm in or the unknown. And for me, it was just, I deserve more. They deserve more. We believe that this is happening to you. Please recognise the signs, and nothing is ever going to be as bad as the situation you are in. Because I believe wholeheartedly, if I had stayed in that situation, I wouldn't be here today.
100%.
Absolutely.
Completely agree. That was amazing.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Met,
so thank you so much, Katy. Honestly,
thank you
I can't. I don't.
me.
I'm literally we will have you back because there's so much.
Like better than meeting Sabrina Carpenter or something. Like that was. Like,
honestly,
I did not know that this was what. Like when I woke up this morning, I did not know that this was going to be what this was. So that was amazing.
You are a hero, and we are so sorry that you went through what you went through. From the bottom of our hearts, you are, and you are going to change the world, I'm sure.
I think you're going to change the world by
We're going to change the world together.
We're
going to change the world together.
3 people in the podcast. I want to win every time.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. This is a wrap. This is the end of season 1. I hate to say what an amazing way to end. We were saying this yesterday as well, like using those words when it's covering topics like this is never easy, but
it's power though, isn't it? And strength.
Everything H.E.R stands for: healing and empowerment. And rich, not in money, but rich in other people's lives, family, friends. Love again, and finding peace within yourself and purpose. So we couldn't have ended that on a better note when it comes to empowerment and all of the things that we stand for at the House of H.E.R. So
thank you
so much for listening.
Everyone.
And we'll see you
in
season 2.
Bye guys.
Bye
Love
guys.
you.
Thank you.